Your 2026 will not be shaped by chance, talent, or luck. It will be shaped by how you start your mornings long before the world wakes up. Most people wait for a new year to change their life, but champions build their new year every single morning. And if you start your mornings like this, 2026 will become unstoppable for you. Every morning must begin with intent, not rushing, not reacting, not grabbing your phone just to drown your mind in everyone else's agenda. When you open your eyes, the day shouldn't pull you. You pull the day. You set direction before the world sets distraction. You decide who you are before circumstances decide who you become. Because when you start your morning with intent, you become a creator of outcomes instead of a collector of excuses. And here's the truth that most people miss. Your first thoughts of the day are either building your future or repeating your past. If you wake up thinking fear, you will walk through a fearful day. If you wake up thinking lack, you will chase things from a place of scarcity. But when you wake up and command your thoughts, when you speak life to yourself before life tries to speak limits to you, you shift your entire atmosphere. Greatness is not built at noon. Greatness is built in the first 5 minutes of your morning. Your body is a gateway to your destiny. If you activate your body, you activate your purpose. A still body creates a slow day, but a moving body creates unstoppable momentum. You don't need a gym, you need movement. You need to remind your body that it is alive, capable, and designed for more. Because movement sparks clarity, movement sparks discipline, movement sparks belief, and belief is where breakthroughs begin. Before you chase tasks, speak identity. Successful people don't act to become, they act because they already know who they are. You must speak to yourself from identity, not insecurity. You say, I am disciplined, I am favored, I am called, I am equipped, I am a finisher. Because when identity is strong, activity becomes easy. What drains people isn't the work. It's doing the work while doubting who they are. Your morning words must settle who you are so your actions can flow from certainty. And once you've aligned your mind and your identity, you choose one high-value target. One thing that moves your life, your income, your health, or your purpose forward. Most people are busy all day, but never productive. They check off boxes, but never change outcomes. Success is not built by doing everything. It's built by doing the right thing first. Your morning must not be filled with noise, but with focus. You attack the task that moves the needle, not the task that keeps you comfortable. Finally, you protect your morning like sacred territory. You don't negotiate with comfort. You don't negotiate with alarms. You don't negotiate with distractions. When you eliminate negotiation from your morning, you eliminate stagnation from your life. People don't lose potential at night. They lose it in the first hour of their day. And when you decide that your first hour is non-negotiable, the rest of your day becomes predictable in the best way. If you start your morning with intention instead of reaction, with discipline instead of distraction, with identity instead of insecurity, with movement instead of stagnation, your entire 2026 will shift. Your habits determine your harvest, and every morning you build this routine, you are planting seeds of a future that cannot be stopped. Not because the year will be easy, but because you will be unshakable. You are not waiting for 2026 to bless you. 2026 is waiting for you to prepare yourself. And it all begins tomorrow morning. Start like this, stay consistent, and watch the year surrender every blessing you were designed to walk into. Your mornings are the steering wheel of your destiny. Take control of them, and the road ahead will open in ways you've never imagined. Your 2026 can be unstoppable if you decide that your mornings will be unstoppable first. Start with intent, not momentum. Most people wake up and let the day drag them the same way yesterday did. They roll out of bed reacting to alarms, reacting to notifications, reacting to problems that haven't even happened yet. And because they start in reaction, they lose their power before they even stand up. But intent is different. Intent means you wake up with a decision already made. You choose who you will be before the world tells you who you're not. You choose your direction before circumstances try to choose it for you. Momentum is accidental, intent is intentional. Momentum is built on whatever happened yesterday. The stress, the fear, the distractions. Intent is built on what you decide today. When you wake up with intent, you take control of your emotional temperature. You tell your mind, I'm leading today, not following. You guide your thoughts before they wander into old habits. You set your attitude before you walk into situations that try to change it. Starting with intent means you slow down your first moments long enough to think, to breathe, and to choose. You set a standard for your day instead of waiting for the day to set a standard for you. You don't jump into action without direction. You step into identity before you step into activity. And when you do that, your day becomes a mission instead of a mess. Intent gives you clarity, gives you control, gives you power. Momentum only takes you where you've already been. But intent takes you where you are meant to go. And if you start your mornings with intent, you won't repeat the past. You'll rewrite your future. Command your thoughts before they command you. The first battle of your day is not outside of you, it's in your mind. The moment you wake up, your thoughts are already moving, already speaking, already trying to tell you who you are and what you can expect from the day. And if you don't take control of them, they will drag you right back into the patterns you've been trying to break. Your mind is powerful, but it is also obedient. It follows the loudest voice, and if the loudest voice isn't yours, your day will be shaped by everything except your purpose. Most people wake up and immediately allow their thoughts to drift toward fear, worry, lack, regret, or busyness. They rehearse problems instead of rehearsing possibilities. They start their morning replaying old failures instead of envisioning new opportunities. And because their mind sets the tone, the entire day becomes a repeat of yesterday. Not because that's what they wanted, but because they didn't step in and take ownership of their thinking. You command your thoughts by giving them direction. You wake up and decide what you will focus on. You speak out loud who you are, what you expect, and where you're going, not because you're trying to hype yourself up, but because you're establishing authority over the one thing that influences everything else, your mindset. When you speak truth, your thoughts follow it. When you speak identity, your thoughts align with it. When you speak purpose, your thoughts begin to search for solutions instead of problems. Your thoughts are like a river. They can carry you somewhere powerful, or they can sweep you somewhere destructive. And the only difference is whether you guide them or let them run wild. When you wake up and intentionally shape your thinking, you create an environment inside yourself where discipline, confidence, creativity, and clarity can grow. You build a mindset that supports your goals instead of sabotaging them. Commanding your thoughts isn't about ignoring negative feelings. It's about refusing to let them be in charge. It's about waking up and choosing direction instead of drifting. Because if you don't lead your mind will lead you back to everything you said you were leaving behind. And when you master this skill, your mornings stop being chaotic. Your day stops being random. Your progress stops being inconsistent. Your thoughts become your allies, not your enemies. And from that moment on, every morning becomes a launch pad, not a limitation. Activate your body to activate your destiny. Your physical state is the ignition switch for your mental, emotional, and spiritual state. The moment you wake up, your body is either preparing you for greatness or pulling you back into stagnation. Most people underestimate how deeply their destiny is connected to their energy. They think clarity is a mindset issue, when in reality, clarity is often a movement issue. A sluggish body produces a sluggish vision. A tired body produces tired decisions. And a body that never gets activated sends a message to your brain that today is just another ordinary day. Nothing special, nothing purposeful, nothing worth rising for. When you move your body in the morning, even for just a few minutes, you spark something inside that no motivational quote can replace. You increase blood flow to your brain, you wake up your nervous system, and you elevate your level of discipline. Movement tells your mind we are alive, we are capable, we are in control. It shifts you from passive to powerful. It turns your brain from reactive to creative. Suddenly, ideas flow, motivation rises, confidence grows. Not because the day got easier, but because you got stronger. You don't need a gym membership to activate your destiny. You don't need a 2-hour workout routine. You just need movement. Stretch, walk, do push-ups, breathe deeply, get your body out of sleep mode and into purpose mode. Because when your body wakes up, your purpose wakes up with it. People think discipline starts in the mind, but more often, discipline starts in the muscles. When your body learns to follow your commands, your life begins to follow your decisions. Your body is a tool, not a burden. It is designed to support your purpose, amplify your productivity, and carry you through challenges. But when you neglect it, you send the wrong message to your destiny. You tell your future that you're not ready. You tell your opportunities that you lack energy. You tell your purpose that it can wait. But when you activate your body, you activate the flow of momentum that carries you through the rest of your day. You feel more alert. You feel more disciplined. You feel more aligned with your goals. Every powerful version of you requires energy, and energy begins with movement. Destiny doesn't respond to wishes, it responds to motion. And every morning you choose to move, you are sending a signal to your future: I'm ready, I'm committed, I'm stepping into who I'm meant to be. When your body steps forward, your destiny steps with it. Speak identity before you chase activity. Most people wake up and immediately rush into doing, checking messages, planning tasks, answering demands, trying to catch up with a world that will always move faster than their sense of worth. But activity without identity is empty. It's exhausting. It's achievement built on insecurity instead of purpose. When you start your day by chasing tasks before confirming who you are, you end up performing for approval rather than acting from alignment. And no matter how much you accomplish, it never feels like enough because the person doing the work hasn't settled their foundation. Identity is the engine. Activity is the outcome. If you want your actions to be powerful, sustainable, and meaningful, they must flow from a rooted sense of who you are. When you speak identity in the morning, you're not trying to hype yourself up. You are grounding yourself in truth. You are declaring the version of you that leads instead of follows, builds instead of breaks, commits instead of quits. When you affirm your identity, you silence the voices that tell you you're not ready, not worthy, not capable. You quiet the noise and elevate the truth. Your morning words create your internal environment. When you say, I am disciplined, your actions start aligning with discipline. When you say, I am favored, you walk differently. When you say, I am capable, you stop negotiating with fear. Identity sets the tone for your decisions. It shapes what you tolerate, what you pursue, and what you refuse to accept. Because once you know who you are, you stop living like someone who has something to prove. You start living like someone who has something to protect. The reason so many people burn out isn't because the work is too heavy. It's because they're trying to carry the work with a weak sense of self. They start from emptiness and wonder why their confidence breaks halfway through the day. But when you start from identity, you start full. You start anchored. You start with certainty. Activity becomes easier because you're not wrestling with doubt every time you take action. Speaking identity shapes your posture, your decisions, your energy, and your expectations. It tells your mind where you are going before your feet start moving. It aligns your soul with your assignment and ensures that everything you do is a reflection of who you truly are, not a reaction to who you fear you might not be. When you speak identity before you chase activity, your day becomes intentional instead of frantic, purposeful instead of scattered, empowered instead of drained. Because once you know who you are, everything you do becomes an expression of that truth. You don't chase success, you carry it. You don't chase purpose, you embody it. You don't chase greatness, you live from it. Focus on one high-value target every morning. Most people wake up and drown themselves in a long list of tasks, thinking productivity is about doing more. But doing more is not the same as moving forward. A full schedule doesn't mean a full life. A busy morning doesn't guarantee a breakthrough. When you start your day scattered, your results stay scattered. Your energy gets divided, your focus gets diluted, and instead of creating impact, you end up maintaining routines that don't change anything. A high-value target is the task that moves your life, your income, your purpose, or your future forward in a meaningful way. It's not a chore, it's not a distraction, it's not the thing that feels comfortable. It's the one action that, if completed consistently, would shift the trajectory of your year. It might be making a difficult call, building a new skill, creating something that has long-term value, working on your business instead of chasing everybody else's urgency. It's the seed that creates a harvest. And when you hit it first, everything else becomes easier to manage. Your brain has the highest clarity, willpower, and creativity early in the morning. That is the prime hour for growth. Most people waste that hour on low-value tasks, scrolling, replying, reacting, organizing meaningless details. They use peak energy on bottom-tier priorities and wonder why their big goals stay stuck. But when you choose one high-value target and execute it before the world interrupts you, you gain immediate momentum. You start your morning with a win. and that win sets the tone for your entire day. Focusing on one high-value target forces you to think strategically instead of emotionally. It makes you ask, what actually matters today? What moves me closer to the life I want? What pushes my purpose forward? And the moment you identify that one thing, you strip away everything that slows you down. You stop confusing motion with progress. You stop thinking you need to do 10 things to feel productive. You start realizing that one powerful action done consistently is more valuable than 20 random actions done inconsistently. This level of focus builds discipline. It builds confidence. It builds identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, someone who takes meaningful action, someone who walks with intention instead of drifting through distraction. And over time, these daily high-value wins compound. They build a business, they sharpen the skill, they grow the income, they elevate the mindset, they create the opportunities. Your life changes not because you did everything, but because you consistently did the thing that mattered most. When you make your morning about priority instead of activity, you stop living in repetition and start living in progression. Every day becomes a step forward. Every morning becomes a chance to shift your trajectory, and 2026 becomes unstoppable because you started each morning by attacking the needle-moving moment that most people avoid. One high-value target a day. Hit it first, hit it consistently, and watch your entire life rise. Protect your morning from noise and negotiation. Your morning is the most valuable real estate in your entire day, yet most people give it away for free. They let distractions walk in uninvited. They let comfort negotiate their discipline. They let other people's urgency override their own purpose. And because the morning gets compromised, the whole day collapses under the weight of reactions instead of rising with the power of intention. Noise doesn't always come from the outside. Sometimes it comes from your own habits. The scrolling, the checking, the comparing, the unnecessary conversations, the mental clutter you allow before you've even anchored yourself. When you allow noise in your morning, you silence your own clarity. You give away your focus before you've even used it. It's impossible to build an unstoppable year when your first hour is controlled by chaos instead of commitment. Negotiation is even more dangerous than noise. Negotiation is when you talk yourself out of the standards you already set. It's when your alarm rings and you start debating with yourself. 5 more minutes? I'll start tomorrow. I don't feel like it today. Every time you negotiate with comfort, comfort wins, and every time comfort wins, your purpose loses. The most powerful people in the world aren't the most talented. They are the least negotiable. They don't bargain with their vision. They don't compromise their habits. They don't allow their emotions to dictate their execution. When you protect your morning, you protect your momentum. You create a boundary that says, this time belongs to my growth. This time belongs to my calling. This time belongs to the version of me that I'm committed to becoming. And when you honor that boundary, everything in your life starts aligning with the strength of your morning. Protecting your morning means you decide what deserves your attention before the day tries to steal it. It means you show up for yourself before you show up for anyone else. It means the first hour of your day becomes a sanctuary, a place where your thoughts, your identity, your goals, and your discipline are strengthened without interruption. When you stop negotiating with distractions, you stop negotiating with your destiny. Your future begins in the hours no one sees, the choices no one applauds, the standards you set when no one's watching. Protect those moments fiercely. Guard them like your life depends on them, because in many ways it does. Your morning is the gatekeeper of your greatness. Keep it locked to anything that weakens you and open only to the habits that elevate you. Do that consistently, and your entire year will rise to match the strength of the mornings you refuse to give away. Your mornings are not just the beginning of your day, they are the foundation of your destiny. The way you wake up determines the way you rise. The way you rise determines the way you live. If you start with intent, command your thoughts, activate your body, speak from identity, focus on what truly matters, and protect your mornings like sacred ground, there is nothing in 2026 that can stop you. Greatness doesn't appear overnight. It's built in the unseen hours. Breakthroughs don't come from random effort. They come from consistent alignment. Your future is shaped long before the world sees the results. It's shaped in the choices you make before the sun comes up. When you master your morning, you master your momentum. When you master your momentum, you master your year. Your 2026 won't be unstoppable because of the calendar. It will be unstoppable because of the person you become every morning. You choose discipline over distraction, identity over insecurity, purpose over comfort. These habits aren't just routines, they are declarations. They are proof that you're done living small, done repeating cycles, done waking up hoping things change. Now you wake up changing them. You are building a version of yourself that leads, that creates, that executes, that grows, that refuses to be moved by circumstances. And if you keep showing up this way day after day, morning after morning, your results will have no choice but to rise. Start your mornings like this, protect them like treasure, and watch 2026 unfold with a level of clarity, confidence, and momentum that even you didn't see coming. Your morning is your power. Your morning is your leverage. Your morning is your advantage. And when you take control of that hour, you take control of your life. Your unstoppable year begins with an unstoppable morning, and that begins with you tomorrow. Let's rise.